Hi everyone, it's Kyra. Thank you so much for coming back to Science Skills. Last week, we learned about the different parts of the plants, and we also did a really cool experiment with celery, and it turned different colors. Today, we're going to talk about how that all happened. Now, if you remember the experiment, we saw that when we put the celery in different colors of food coloring water, the celery actually turned the color of the food coloring. So, when we put the celery in red food coloring water, the celery turned red. Now, how did that happen? If you think about it, when we took the celery out, we noticed that the bottom of the celery was also red, and so were the leaves at the top. This means that the water had to travel up through the stem and into the leaves against gravity, which is crazy. There's actually a word for this, and it's called capillary action. Now, plants use capillary action to bring water from the roots and the stems at the bottom of the plant all the way up to the top through these tubes called capillaries. Now, these capillaries are almost like straws. They suck up all the liquid from the bottom and they take it to the top. Plants actually do this every day with normal water, but we can't see it. So when we add the food coloring, we are able to see the process happen, and we can see how the water travels up through the stem into the leaves. All right, so there are actually two terms that are used to talk about how plants move around water and nutrients and food throughout the rest of the plant, and they're pretty cool sounding. The first one is xylem. Substances that the xylem move include water and minerals, and the xylem moves it up from the roots down below into the stem and leaves. Now, their other tissue is called the phloem. The phloem moves energy from the top of the leaves down to the bottom of the plant. So, a really easy way to remember this is that xylem brings the water up and phloem brings the energy as food down. So if in our experiment we put the celery in the colored water and the leaves at the top changed color, which direction do you think the water was going? If you said up, you'd be correct. And which of the two terms that we just learned describes moving up? If you said xylem, you'd also be correct. So in this experiment, capillary action helps bring the water up through the xylem tubes in the celery and into the leaves. All right, we just learned a lot. Okay, so we just learned a lot of new terms, so let's do a recap. I'll say the word and you tell me what it means. Let's start with capillary action. Good. Capillary action is when water moves up the roots and stems into the leaves through the tiny little tubes called capillaries, which are like a straw. Now, what is the xylem? Good. The xylem is the tissue in the plant that transports water and nutrients from the roots up the stem into the leaves. Now for the last one, what is the phloem? Good. The phloem is the other tissue that takes the energy from the top of the plant and brings it all down. Awesome! So we learned 3 new words today: capillary action, xylem, and phloem. If you want to learn more about how plants get food from their leaves, click the next video. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.